Hey everybody, Donna Woods, CEO of Photonic Health. And in this episode of Health Made Simple, we are going all the way across the pond and we are chatting with one of our ambassadors. Her name is Catherine Ritchie, and she hails from New South Wales, Australia. And Catherine's business is called Kira Natural Healing. So welcome, Catherine. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. So, Catherine, we're going to dive right in because we sort of connected up with you because of your story with your greyhound.
It's a little whippet called Dusty. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you can you just give us a little synopsis of Dusty's story and
Yeah.
what that looked like and how that all unfolded?
Yeah. I used to work on some racehorses in a local yard in Victoria, and one of the relatives had found their little dog in the garden, totally paralysed from the neck down. And he was only 6 years old. He was rushed to the vets, and the vets had said he had blockages in his neck and down his spine. So nothing was flowing through his body, and he had all these blockages. They said it was quite common in whippets. And that he would be paralysed from the neck down. They said they could try an operation that would cost about $6,500, but it was very unlikely he would ever walk again. So I was asked what I thought if I could help. I honestly had no idea, but I was more than willing to try and help.
Right.
The first session using specific acupoints plus with the torch plus using pads, photonic pads, we had tingling in his front legs. So we decided to treat him 3 times a week. And the progress was just incredible. We had a lot of movement in the front legs over a period of maybe 2 weeks, and that he was able to sit. He still couldn't walk in the hind legs. We started to use a harness just to encourage picking him up while we were using the lights. And within 6 weeks, we had this little whippet Dusty walking. A year down the line, he now runs about 5K a day with his owner. We, up until probably a year ago, until I moved, we kept quite close in touch. And Dusty would be so excited when I'd go to the house. He'd actually howl when he couldn't move in the back legs. He'd howl with excitement when he heard me, and he'd nip my neck. And he knew he just knew the lights were helping him. And when he was actually able to move and run, he'd run to his bed and just lie down, waiting for the pads and the acupoints to be treated. He just loved it and genuinely knew that it was helping him. So we couldn't believe the difference in this little dog that we were told would never walk again. So, and
Right.
I was blown away with it.
Yeah. Yay. I love that. I love that. That's yeah, it's life-changing, right? And
Yeah,
I think you guys are similar to us in that, especially with dogs with that type
yeah,
of injury, or you go to the vet and it says it's going to cost you, $6,000 to $10,000,
yeah,
or the option is to have the dog put down.
yeah,
And
that's right.
for us, that's really not an option. Like, I mean, it is an option, but it's not the only option.
Yeah,
And so we've seen it time and time again where,
yeah,
dogs have been completely paralyzed and, within a period of time
yeah.
ranging anywhere from 2 weeks to a couple, 6 to 8 weeks, they're back and
Yeah,
they're fully functioning.
it's
Um,
incredible.
yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. So, you said clients, and so my understanding is you also work on horses. You do a lot of race horses. Is that correct?
Yeah, I do. And a lot of cutting horses. So I recently I don't know if you get a symptom called big head in America. but it's basically because of tropical grasses here in Australia, it causes high oxalates in the horse and a calcium deficiency. So the horse's bones seep calcium, and the calcium goes to a hierarchy in the body, and the horse's face grows fibrous tissues, and their face really goes massive. And I was at a horse recently that, whilst the vet was there as well, and it was diagnosed with big head, and obviously advised to bulk up the horse's calcium. But to give the horse all this extra calcium, a lot of time they can't actually absorb it because their liver's under functioning, or their stomach's got like leaky gut or anything, so they can't absorb. So we used lymphaceutics to clean the horse's liver, and we used the red light on the face. And we were actually advised that we'd never get the fibrous tissue to break down. Within 2 weeks, we had this horse's head from this to this in 2 weeks back to normal, which again, it was the first horse I dealt with big head. So I can't believe it, because it's quite a common disorder up here due to the tropical grasses.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. We'd never heard of that. That's not and I live in Florida. So if
yeah.
we would have it anywhere in the United States, it would be in Florida.
Yeah.
So that like, okay, well, but yay, how cool is that?
I know. Well, I had never heard of it before until I moved here to New South Wales. We didn't have it in Victoria, and we don't have it back in Scotland. So it's just, New South Wales seems to have these tropical grasses. So
grasses. Okay. And it's the tropical grasses, the different types of grasses. Okay.
yeah.
That makes sense. That absolutely makes sense. Well, yeah, that's incredible. Your clients must absolutely love you.
Oh, it's really quite incredible, because I think people at first think, would the lights really do that? Would a torch really be able to fix this? But then they try it, and the feedback's just immense. I mean,
Yeah.
I treated a horse recently with colic, really severe colic, and it was a race horse, and he was going to his biggest race, and the owner was devastated. She phoned me at 9:30 one night and asked, do you think you can fix him? Because again, if they used the vet, it would be chemicals. The horse wouldn't be allowed to race, because it was within 2 days. And I went down at 9:30 on a Sunday night, and I used points GV1, ST36 and CV12. And the horse was going, he was really upset. And she says, oh, be careful. I says, he'll be fine. Went in with him, just touched him, and he just came down into my hands. And we worked on those 3 points, probably for 20 minutes off and on. And within half an hour, he was happy. He went and raced on the Tuesday at Eagle Farm, and he got third.
Yeah,
So
I love
he did
that.
amazing. Yeah.
I
And
love that.
the trainer couldn't believe it. She says, I would never have believed it if I hadn't seen it. So
Right.
yeah, so I do quite a lot of work with the racehorses, local racehorses, and even ones in Sunshine Coast, which is quite far away. I provide a scanner, and these people scan their horses, and then I'll actually give them acupoints to specifically work on. And they can't believe the difference, and they purchase a torch, and they'll actually do the acupoints themselves. And
awesome.
I basically say to people, it should be one of the best tools in your toolbox. It's one of the best healthiest things for a horse, So
Right. Absolutely. Well, and here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about is, like the dog or the horse, like they look at it and they go, oh, well, it's $600. Well, wait a minute here. You were going to do a $6,000 surgery, and that's a one-time cost. That doesn't include the rehab after. And the cool thing is you've got the torch, so you can use it on whatever you can, whatever's up next, right?
Yeah.
And with animals, especially horses and dogs, I don't know about you, but I mean, I've got 6 horses and 3 dogs and 2 cats. And my animals never tell me when they're going to get hurt.
No.
So it's one of those things where it's just like when it happens, instead of, because my thing is, like, my animals always get hurt on the weekends or at
Yeah,
night or during a
yeah,
holiday. And so
yeah,
instead of me hitting the panic button, because they're my babies, we're like, okay, get out the lights. Let's see what we can do.
yeah.
And it's just so empowering.
Oh, they're absolutely incredible. Even just for general health or for calming a horse before a competition.
Yeah.
I've recently been doing work on two cats, actually. These are like the first cats I've actually worked on, other than my own cats. And these cats never go outside. They're so sick. They don't even lie together because they're in too much pain. They have severe autoimmune issues. They've never had hair on their tummy since they were kittens, and they're 10 years old. And these cats are under vets and different people for the last 10 years, and they've never been able to control what's going on with them. And I've been treating them for 6 weeks. The cats now cuddle up and sleep together. They run about. The owners are saying the cats are mad. They can't believe the energy and how they're reacting. And they jump up every night to get the red light. They love the torch on them, and they lie there and they just love it. Um, and the difference in
Oh
the
my
cats are
gosh.
honestly incredible. And I was actually worried
Yeah.
about taking these cats on because they were so sick. So
Yeah.
I'm just, I can't believe the difference in these two cats.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And
the,
cats are different than dogs or horses for sure.
yeah,
And but they're so God, they're so more in tuned and connected in.
yeah,
And so like once they figure that out, like they are just like they
yeah,
know. And the other
they
thing
do.
with cats is if they're sick, I can't believe, like if in my experience, if cats are sick, like they can go downhill really, really fast.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's harder to turn them around than a dog or a
Yeah,
horse. But we've seen it happen. We've seen
yeah,
it happen.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually worked with one that had, I think he must have eaten a rat that had been poisoned, and the cat got very
Oh,
sick, couldn't walk and vomiting, and again we thought we'd lose him, but we got him back on his feet within 2 3 days, and he was incredible as
yeah.
well. But I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the light just blows me away, and the pads, working them together and using the
Yeah.
red light, the blue light, the green light. And I just think the difference that we see in animals is, I wish more people were more open to trying it prior to trying chemicals sometimes, because, or they're on their animals, because the
Yeah.
difference is just unbelievable. It's just
Yeah.
amazing. So
Yeah.
powerful.
So what's your favorite combination? Like what do you find what colors do you find yourself using the most?
Well, to be honest, I tend to use, I'll use near infrared round the face. I use blue on like mud fever, cuts, bruises, any skin disorders. And then I'll use red on acupoints and obviously the pads on muscular and things. But I really combine them. I love to mix them. But I will actually use blue, then red as well, like what you did. I'll use the blue first and then I'll use red. Yeah,
Yeah.
not so much on acupoints, more on like skin issues. Like I've had really
Yeah.
good success with psoriasis, clearing psoriasis and eczema, things like that, using the blue and
Right.
then using red. And I've had really good success with
Yeah.
that. Um,
Yeah.
so, but yeah, and I really encourage them to use blue on stitches. I've seen a dog that's just had an operation and the stitches were very inflamed. 5 minutes later, after using blue, the inflammation's really gone down and the healing
Yeah.
starts to heal quicker. So I see a big difference. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think really all skin layer, even bacterial, fungal things, I use blue. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I'll use
Yeah.
red on
And
top.
that's what blue is made for. They gosh, back in 2010, 2011, I believe, there were leading studies from Wisconsin, one of the universities there, and they discovered that blue light will kill 98% of MRSA, which is a staph infection, in one application.
Yeah,
And so that's why, yeah, so that's why it's so great that you're using it on any skin
yeah,
condition, anything that's open fabulous on sutures. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And I love that. I love that. Now let's chat about, you mentioned something a couple minutes ago about a scanner, and I'm curious. Can you elaborate?
So I'm actually a nurse practitioner, and this is actually a big American company. So it's based on the bioenergetics of the horse or the dog or the cat. And what I do, it's like a little mouse I use, and I place it on the horse's shoulder or neck or anywhere on the body. And it scans the horse's body. So it comes to my laptop and my iPhone, and it will actually tell me all where the horse's body is asking for support. So it basically will show me a report of all the meridian blockages. We call them energetic rejuvenators, so it's frequency specific points, but I still use the lights on these points. It will tell me imbalances in vitamins and minerals in the horse. It will tell me if there's muscular, sciatic issues going on, pain. And it tells me what parts of the body are underperforming. So I can pick up very easily if a horse that's got a lot of upset tummy issues, is it because the horse is stressed? Because it brings up both parts of the brain. So I can tell if it's because of the brain and the horse needs to be calm and more relaxed. It'll tell me if it's due to food intolerances. And it's amazing the amount of horses and dogs now are coming up with grain intolerances. So it can actually tell me if they have a grain intolerance. We can remove that and we work on the points then with the red lights or the blue lights and green. So we'll work on those points. And the difference in some of these horses is incredible, because some of the horses, when they have tummy, a lot of people think it's always due to ulcers, especially in a racehorse, but that's just putting a plaster on it. We need to understand why it's getting the ulcers. Is it due to food? Is it due to stress? So to find out what's actually the root cause really lets us clean it up and actually prevent it, rather than just putting a plaster on and just easing that pain or discomfort. It's about getting to the root cause.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of good results with that. Yeah.
And how long have you been using this technology?
Probably a year in my own business, but I was training with a lady for a couple of years prior. On my own, a year. But I've found the combination between being an nurse practitioner and using photonic lights and acupoints an incredible combination, because I don't really have to go too much into hands-on and finding the issues. I can really, this scanner it's just unbelievable what it picks up. And it really gives me a basis on where to start working straight away. And I really do get incredible results. The combination's super.
Nice. I love that. I love that. I'd never, well, I mean, I'm familiar with some bioenergetic scanners, but not one that you can actually put on the animal and get the feedback from there. It's usually just, like a piece of their hair or their picture or something like that. So that's super cool.
Yeah, it works on the skin. That makes sense. Use it by voice as well for people. So because it's So like my parents live in Scotland, and I can do them by voice. So
yes, I love that. And so Catherine, what is your so you work on your parents, but do you work on what's your business model look like? Do you do just in-person consultations, or do you work remotely? What does that look like?
I do both. A lot of my clients, I physically go and I'll go to see and I'll scan the horses while I'm there. Other people who have heard about what I do will phone me and they're too far away. So I'll offer them to purchase a scanner, which isn't that expensive. They can purchase the scanner, they download an app to their mobile phone, then they can do the scan on their horse or their dog, and then they've got it in case of any emergencies. And the results come straight to me. I'm notified that this person has done a scan. I'll look at the scan, I'll do them a big report explaining what I see, and I'll say to them, these are the points you need to work on, and this is what you need to do to help your horse or your dog. So yeah, I'll send them a report, and I'll actually give them a screenshot of all the points they need to work on. And
Nice.
the results are great. I have quite a few scanners all over Australia. All over Australia and different states, and people use them regularly. So they might only have one horse, but they'll scan that horse, say, every 6 weeks just to see how it's performing, how it's going.
Absolutely.
Because some of these horses, I mean, they're pushed to extremes. They're athletes, you know, there's endurance horses, cutting horses, and thoroughbreds. So they're horses that are very, very well cared for and loved, and the people genuinely want to just keep on top of them.
Absolutely. I love that. Yay. And if people would like to get a hold of you, what is the best way for them to contact you?
Well, I have a Facebook account, which is Kira Natural Healing, and really just my mobile number or email.
Okay. Okay. And what your email is Catherine Ritchie 02 at gmail.com. And that's CATHERINERITCHIE 02 at gmail.com. We won't give out your phone number because
that's cool.
But if you guys, Catherine, it was great to have you on. I loved all your stories and what you're doing. You're just absolutely amazing. We're so blessed to have people like you in our community, and going out and sharing with what you do and helping to heal the world. So thank you. And if you guys are out there listening, feel free to email Catherine or to go to her Facebook page. It's Kira, Kira, Natural Healing. And if you cannot locate either one of those two pieces, just reach out to our office at Photonic Health, and we will make sure to put you in contact with this fabulous lady.
Thank you. Can I also thank you, because it was due to seeing what you did 10 years ago that got me into this. I happened to come across you guys and I was so intrigued, and it was because of following you and reading and finding out more on acupoints that I actually started to study and get so engrossed in it over here in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
And
I've got goosebumps.
I purchased my very first torch from you guys. My very first torch I purchased from you guys. And really, I was so intrigued by it. So thank you. But I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now.
Yay. Well, we're a collective, right? So yay. That means I'm doing my job. So
yeah, absolutely. All the way over here.
I love it. We'll have to get over there. So
you should.
All right, everybody. Feel free to reach out to Catherine if you have any questions, and we'll see you on the next episode of Health Made Simple. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.